This episode of the Puff and Run podcast was recorded on the evening of October 1st, 2017. Shortly after the second commercial break, tragedy struck in Las Vegas and the Puff and Run podcast went radio silence, leaving the second half of episode 19 unrecorded at this time.
Welcome to the Puff and Run podcast show, your number one source for news and information about marijuana and running, the latest updates on the 420 cross-country team, and races around the nation, and behind-the-scene details on the Puff and Run TV web series production schedule. Bringing you all and more, here's your host, the Vegas 420 runner.
It's the Puff and Run podcast back in your life.
You guys ready? We bring you everything from cannabis to running news. This time, we won't forget to say something. You go first.
Well, it's October 1st. It's Sunday, October the 1st. This episode is scheduled to be released on October 4th. As you guys know, we release new episodes every month on the 4th and the 20th. My name is the Vegas 420 runner. I'm a long distance endurance athlete, and I help raise awareness and let runners know how they can use cannabis without having to smoke it and without even having to get high. They can still utilize the benefits and use it as a healthy alternative to alcohol and aspirin.
Well, there you have it, guys. That's the Vegas 420 runner. And as you know, my name is Mr. Run to Improve. I'm over here, co-host to the Puff and Run podcast show. We're going to bring you everything from cannabis to weight loss. That's where I come in. As you guys know, I'm a weight loss mentor, photographer, and runner. Of course, runner, right?
I've been referring to you as, because you know in boxing they have weight classes.
Right.
So
and the weight loss champion.
Yeah, 420 pound weight loss champion.
Yes, sir.
But I recently started to call what you do heavyweight long distance running.
That's cool.
I don't know if
that's different.
I was trying because
that gives me an actual category.
It gives you a category: heavyweight long distance running.
Yeah.
So I thought that
heavyweight long distance runners. Hey,
yeah.
Could be. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them out there, huh, guys? You guys represent. We're in the 290s to 320s, bringing it down little by little, just by running and.
Well, why don't we do this? If you're going to start it at 290s, let's just say and up.
And up, yeah.
And up, yeah.
And up, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That way it puts everybody in.
Yeah, everybody gets a shot, man.
That's cool. I appreciate that. Heavyweight, long distance running.
Yeah, exactly. This is like they have the weight classes, and actually in triathlons.
For you, you'll be welterweight because you like or featherweight.
Yeah, featherweight. Yeah, and so
pluma weight.
In triathlons, they actually have the Clydesdale and the Athena. That kind of separates out the participants kind of depending on their weight.
Right.
So.
And trust me guys, at first I used to think, oh my God, they're judging me by the weight. It's not because of that. It's just allows them to follow and see your progress. Because they're like, man, this guy's out there. He's knocking these courses, doing these things that sometimes people be like, what's he doing out here? He shouldn't be out there. But guess what? We're out defying the masses, putting in that work and grinding.
Exactly. All right, so let me get back on track here with this intro. In about an hour from now, or less, probably about 45 minutes, 40 minutes, we're going to have...
How much you talk.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to have a special guest joining us. Nurse Juhlzie is scheduled to come on the show. We're going to hear a little bit about the Cannabis Nurses Network, Nurses Cannabis Magazine, and a conference that's coming up here in Vegas. So I look forward to speaking with her. But before that, of course, we're going to hear from you, Mr. Run to Improve. And we're going to hear all about the Ruck and Run, the race report from the Ruck and Run. I can't wait.
Ruck and Run, baby.
I'm trying to rush through this podcast so we can get straight to the Run to Improve. You know that's my favorite part of the show. We're also going to hear about the 420 cross-country team, some recent race results, upcoming schedule, media appearances, and sponsor updates. And, of course, we'll be talking about the most recent happenings with cannabis here in Nevada. But for now, we've got a list of housekeeping and events and some friends of the show that we got to go over and shout out to. So I just want to remind all of our listeners that that the Puff and Run podcast, episode 19 of the Puff and Run podcast, is brought to you in part by Mjfitnut, baby. All day, every day. If you haven't went to mjfitnut.com, yet, go there because they got athletes from every sport, every discipline. If you want basketball, if you want wrestling, if you want karate, if you want swimming, if you want mountain biking, any kind of athlete you want, go to Mjfitnut.com. I think, I don't know, seriously, I believe they're recruiting for cannabis ping pong.
Nice.
So if you play ping pong and you smoke cannabis, go to Mjfitnut.com. And if you're any good at ping pong, I'm sure, you know, you'll enjoy what you see.
So no sport is out, guys.
No sport is out. So yeah, definitely shout out and salute to Mjfitnut. I also want to talk about the Budtender Fight Club. The next one is coming up October
22nd.
Yeah, so let them know a little something about that.
Yep. Well, basically, it's the Budtender Fight Club. They're gonna once again give you some cannabis education, guys. This is Sunday, October 22nd, from 1 to 5 p.m. They're gonna be talking about CBD's 101 and other recommendations. Also, they're gonna be talking about terpenes and cannabinoids. Man, there's these words. Like, there was this other word that I was gonna tell you later. I'll bring it up on the show. I was like, I never seen this word with the THC in there or the cannabis. I was like,
Tetrahydrocannabinol.
There you go. That's another one.
Okay.
See, man, there's all these new words coming out. They're gonna be good in Scrabble, especially that.
Yeah, Scrabble. Yeah.
You gotta remember that one, man. That's a lot of points. But yeah, guys, definitely check out this thing. It's going to be happening on Sunday, October 2nd, once again, from 1 to 5 p.m. Get your cannabis education on. Brought to you by Budtender Fight Club.
Yeah, so go to BudtenderFightClub.com. They're going to have Vert out there talking about the Edibles 101. They're going to have the Ace Labs out there. And this was the thing about the CBD. This is what I'm talking about, how runners can utilize the benefits of cannabis without smoking it and without getting high. If they don't want to be under the influence, they can use CBD.
Or if you're actually an athlete that has to be under a strict regimen that can't allow you to use certain things, CBDs are now being allowed, if I'm not mistaken, by WADA, correct?
Yeah, the World Anti-Doping Association, they just approved CBDs for 2018.
Okay, yeah.
Starting in 2018, meaning that if you're about to go compete, you're even allowed to vape CBD before competition. And after, definitely after.
So let's give a big thanks to Nate Diaz for doing that, man.
Yeah,
he's the one that brought it up with the whole vape thing.
Yeah, put it on the map. Yeah, he was vaping at a press conference, and the journalist asked him, "What are you smoking or whatever?" He said CBD, and then a whole bunch of development started happening. So check out the website. We're going to try to throw up a link. Check out the right below this podcast. We're going to try to throw a link to that article if you want to check it out. It's on MMAfighting.com. And you can just search CBD, and I'm sure we'll come right up.
So check that out, guys.
Another dope event, another awesome event that's coming up is the annual HalloWeed party. The annual HalloWeed ball and fundraiser, hosted by W.E.C.A.N 702 Wellness Education Cannabis Advocates of Nevada. So, alright. Let's just read this off a little bit. They're holding their 5th annual HalloWeed Ball, a membership drive and community fund, a costume contest, cash prizes, best overall cannabis theme, a group prize, and the sexiest. There's $2,000 worth of raffle prizes, and it's gonna be someplace really nice. So
you guys should be 21 and up. So please make sure to bring your ID and your weed cards.
Yeah, if you're between 18 and 21, bring your medical card. If you're 21 and up, just bring your ID. But if you're under 21 but over 18, of course you can still be a medical patient. Just bring your medical card. Again, this event is members only, and you are able to purchase a one-day membership for $25 in advance and $30 at the door. Okay. So anyways, there's more details on Facebook. Just type in HalloWeed, HalloWeed, and the event should come right up. Of course, we're going to share this event on the Puff and Run Facebook page, and probably in the 420 Cross Country page as well, so you can find out more about the HalloWeed event there.
Yep, don't forget, get your spook on and your smoke on.
Yep. Okay, now the Cannabis Nurses Network Conference is coming up this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
October 5th through the 7th.
A lot of good things going on. We're not going to get into too many details right now because we will be talking about that later on in the show. I also want to remind you guys that www.redefinecannabis.com has recently been going over some updates, and we've added bios to some of the bloggers that write the blogs there. So Matthew Nelson, aka Matthias585, he's got his bio up there, and if you guys remember him talking about his book Enjoy the Harvest, there's a link right under his bio where you can purchase his book. He's got it available as an ebook, so it's only $2.99. So you guys definitely want to check that out.
Get that download, guys.
Julia Cook, she's a student leader from CSN, so she updated her bio on the student leader tabs. And the anonymous blogger Melody Jane, she released an audio bio. Now normally she only writes, nobody's ever heard her voice before, so she released an audio bio. If you go to redefinecannabis.com or you look on Redefine Cannabis on Facebook, you can hear her voice and
but
and
she's
stuff like that.
no longer anonymous, man. We at least know her name.
Oops. I'm gonna have to edit that out. No, actually Melody Jane is a nom de plume.
Okay.
A nom de plume. A pen name. It's a pen name that she uses to disguise her identity.
Damn,
you know.
so she got us.
Yeah, so yeah, but Melody Jane, she's got a website. Just go where she has a lot of other blogs, and it's Sin City Melody Jane, and she's just talking about her experience becoming a new patient here within the last year and how much cannabis has been helping her. She actually got involved in the industry, began working in the industry after she got her master's degree at UNLV. I mean, this girl is really doing her thing.
Nice. Definitely, man. That's awesome. Good job, Melody.
Another big, this could be one of the biggest announcements of the show, but I am officially an organizer of the Colorado International Cannabis and Hemp Film Festival.
Yeah.
We are going to be having the Film Fest in Denver, Colorado in April, the week of the 20th.
Nice.
That's what we're shooting for right now.
Oh, April 20th.
Yeah, we are currently accepting submissions. You can find us on filmfreeway.com. Our hashtag is one of the easiest ways to find us. CICHFF. Hashtag CICHFF. The Colorado International Cannabis and Hemp Film Festival. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. But because of how much words and letters you can have in a certain screen name, our names could be different on Twitter and Facebook.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
any words on the judges?
I'm glad you happened to ask me that. Yes, I'm here to also announce Avery Collins and Mjfitnut.
The Avery Collins?
The Avery Collins, Ultra Avery, OG, AC, yes.
AC 100.
Yes, and we're going to be getting into, he's got a race coming up. I'll tell you about that in the cross country section. But yes, AC 100 is going to be one of the official judges. It was announced earlier this week, and Mjfitnut, by the time you guys hear this, there should be some kind of posting about it on social media. I know they were waiting until I know the film directors and stuff were waiting until the this week.
Nice.
Like basically, they're making announcements weekly, and so I know even though they Mjfitnut confirmed, they're waiting to announce it next week. And yes, those are the judges as of right now.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a hell of a show. I'm encouraging everybody to submit anything. And this is the thing, we're accepting screenplays. We're accepting music submissions. So you definitely want to go to the website. And if you go to redefinecannabis.com and go to the films tab, there's a drop down menu that says Film Fest.
Now, are these films all related to cannabis?
Yes, they're all related to cannabis and hemp. But we're trying to also incorporate more things beyond usage, as for consumption. More things beyond consumption, like the construction and like the clothing and like different areas of cannabis, creativity and
usage.
And this is the thing, I want to encourage people that have web series out. If you're a blogger, or if you not a blogger, a vlogger, if you're a vlogger, or you got a web series out where you actually take some time to work on the graphics, like the title, and kind of make the sound go together and everything like that, we are accepting all kind of submissions. So don't hold back. Check out the submission requirements, because I definitely think you will qualify. And this is something that we're going to be talking about probably every episode, because I really want to build this up. The Colorado International Cannabis and Hemp Film Fest. These are the folks that I linked up with when I went to Colorado to do the Colorado International Activism Film Fest.
Once again, this is happening April 20th.
The week of April 20th.
The week of April 20th, 2018.
Yep. So yeah, now speaking on film festivals, while we're on that topic, I was over at Nevada State College just earlier this week. I got the chance to check out the NSC Student Film Showcase. That's where I first started showing my films at that student film showcase, and then from there they were able to help me to find out how to be accepted into more film festivals. So it was a good time over there. I did post a few pictures about that on my Instagram, Vegas 420 Runner on Instagram.
Definitely check that out, guys.
Right now, I also want to salute the Kannabis Plug. They're back. Guys, you guys remember we were talking about them in the past, earlier in the summer, and then you guys remember we had the moment of silence.
I do remember that.
We had a moment of silence on air for the passing of Pete Rendon. So check out #WhoisPeteRendon. #WhoisPeteRendon. But yeah, since that time, the show took a small temporary hiatus, and I wanted to go back and listen to some old episodes last week, and I found out they're back on the air.
Nice.
They're still at 22.3 TakeOver Radio, 22.3 TakeOver Vegas, and they got a couple of new hosts. They still got Monster, Prohibitions' Worst Nightmare, and then Dan the Honey Man. I think I heard him on the episode, and then GYG. Yeah, I heard him on the episode, and so yeah, I was glad to hear that they're back on air. They do play some bomb-ass music in the show. You know how we have like small commercial breaks sometimes?
Right.
They play some bomb-ass music during the show. And a lot of podcasts that do that, I skip over the music. But when their music comes on, the music that they're playing, I just kind of like...
It makes you dance. It makes you just...
Yeah. So, yeah, I want to salute the Kannabis Plug. I'm glad to see them back on the air. We definitely need more marijuana podcasts here in Las Vegas. And salute.
Right on.
Yeah. So, now with another local event that happened, Weedtv. Weedtv had their inaugural event here in Las Vegas. Okay, there was tons of babes, tons of bikinis, tons of boobs, and tons of bud and butt cheeks, and it was just crazy. No, I did not go. I was not able to attend.
He was there in spirit, guys.
I was there in spirit, but I did see it live, because there were a lot of people were live streaming.
You know what I was thinking, and since it just dawned on me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna also take on the role of your executive
event attender.
Yeah. So your job is to get me in there.
Yep.
I'll get you all the footage, all the media.
Bingo.
I'll party with the babes, with the bikinis, with the buds.
Yes. It's a match made in heaven. That's perfect,
and I'll
man.
Send you the info.
You're the puff and run liaison.
Exactly.
You know, I will build you a press pass.
Yep.
You can say I work with Puff and Run. I'm the liaison. I'm the community events liaison.
Puff and run you out.
And this is my press pass here. Yes, that's a brilliant idea, man.
And that solves all our issues.
That solves all the issues.
Then I could talk about it too.
Yeah.
Because I'm
right
like,
back.
hey man, this is what I need.
Yeah.
I think this is what we should do, or we should be here in presence. Send my ass in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, this is something inside that we talk about, but it's just something that came up to mind, and I'm like, has to be said. So yeah.
Yeah, that'll be great. Now, I do want to give a big shout out to Zairilla Bacon. That's a person's name. I'm talking about a person. Yeah.
Man, you're making me hungry with it.
Yeah, Zairilla Bacon. Okay, the creator of Z Juice. Z Juice is delicious.
Never had it.
It's like Kool-Aid. It's cannabis Kool-Aid, basically.
I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the people that at one point they were having barbecues at bars?
Yeah, because we were gonna have barbecue.
Go there.
Yeah, between a race or something like that.
Oh man, never made.
Yeah, the wings, the chicken wings.
The chicken wings.
Yeah, the chicken wings. Yeah, you get chicken wings. You get the Z juice.
Oh, okay.
She was at the Weedtv inaugural event.
I still gotta try it. So where can I try it out?
Well, you're gonna look up Zairilla Bacon on Facebook.
And then I can order
from there. Look up Zairilla Bacon on Facebook, or you can go to Vegas 420 Runner. Go to Vegas 420 Runner on Facebook and scroll down. I reposted a picture of her, and I said if anybody wants to show their love to the Vegas 420 Runner, buy me a meal from this lady after one of my races. You know, buy me a Zairilla Bacon meal after one of my races, and boom, then you're showing love to the Vegas 420.
Gotcha.
So yeah, Zairilla Bacon, definitely check her out. She's doing her thing. She was recording an episode of a cooking show.
Gotcha.
At the event, yeah, and I got to see some of the behind the scenes footage. Nice. The cooking show was looking real fly. And she also told the story about how she got her name, Zairilla Bacon. She tells it way better than I do, so you guys got to go check it out. But it was interesting because I was always like, why is she Zairilla Bacon? I was like, I just didn't understand, you know. But then when she explains it, it's like, interesting.
Nice.
All right, and now I'm gonna end off the intro with a little bit of bad news.
What's that?
Not bad news, but just a challenge, an obstacle. Well, the NewWest Summit on October 20th. It's in the Bay Area. I had been scheduled to go there. I wanted to go out there so bad. NewWest Summit, and it's October 20th. But it looks like at this time, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it to the NewWest Summit. So
is it class time?
Not really. Well,
because if not, we looking for sponsors. Come on, guys, let's get them.
That's a good question, man. See, it is a little bit of it's each class time, money. I could get out of the class because it's a media event,
gotcha.
So my professors will let me go up there. You know, now so the time is something else that's important. I have to be very productive if I was up there. So let's say I had a ticket and a hotel room, I would still have to determine how productive I'm going to be able to be if I'm not getting paid to go there. You know, because I'm not a speaker, I'm not on the panel. You know, hopefully next year I'll be on the panel. Hopefully next year I'll be a speaker. That's why I go to these events, to set up my speaking opportunities. You see what I'm saying? Not just to be in the audience. You know, I'm trying to meet the organizers and whatnot so I can speak next year. So yeah, I'm not going to be there this year. Fortunately, I know one of the organizers and I still got that inside track. So thank goodness for that. Now, we're going to transition right into the Nevada cannabis news. And we only got a couple of things on the list today before we take our first break. Okay? First off, everybody's been hearing this, the numbers. The first month of Recreational, $27 million, okay, of money made. First month taxes, $3.6 million of taxes made, okay? Now we doubling up on Colorado, we doubling up on Washington State, we doubling up on Oregon. They not seeing that kind of money their first month out, okay? They like...
At approximately 7:15 p.m., the show made an unscheduled pause. The recording was stopped when special guest nurse Juhlzie arrived to the studio 15 minutes ahead of schedule with Cannabis Nurses magazine publisher Robert Herman. After personal introductions and a brief welcome to the studio, the hosts got back on air, finishing up the first segment of the show.
Yeah, so as you guys can see, there's been basically double made in the first month here in Nevada than all these other recreational states. So that's definitely something that you want to keep in mind. There's been a lot of news reports going out on that as well. Also, with the cannabis lounges, okay, we talked about that on the last episode. And at this time, things seem to be slowing back down again. It's up and down. Same with a lot of different stuff. They're trying to figure it out. They want to get it right. We want to set the gold standards. Now I guess they want to wait and see what Colorado does or whatever.
Just like I mentioned, remember they keep going back and forth. They're always going to be changing it. So you always got to be on top of that.
Got to be on top of your game. You got to be playing by the rules. Okay? Because if you don't, you know, bad things can happen, like your license could get suspended. Some other news that went down this week, G3 Labs, they have a license that got suspended at this time. Okay, the director of the G3 Labs, he was on the green ribbon panels. He's decided to step down from the green ribbon panel, and so from what I understand, they didn't give any specific reason why the license was suspended, but I did hear that they were out of compliance. Out of compliance. That's what we just said. You got to stick to your P's and Q's, cross your T's, dot your I's, cross your T's. But on the flip side of that, I want to give a shout out to DigiPath. They're breaking some new grounds. They got some new stuff going down in California. Go to the DigiPath Facebook page to find out, some posts and some articles about that. And on another note, Oasis is now open 24 hours. Of course, they approved the 24-hour thing, and Oasis is one of the first ones to go ahead and take advantage of that. They didn't understand why they would need to be open all that time. Why couldn't they close down from like 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. or something like that? But those are the prime times for the break-ins. When these places of businesses are closed, this is when the thieves start coming with crowbars or whatever and trying to get money or cannabis.
Well, I mean, it makes sense to keep them open 24 hours. We're in a 24-hour town. Even myself, I ask them, I'm like, shooting, like for example, I like coffee. Why aren't there 24-hour coffee locations where you could go out there and lounge for 24 hours if you want?
Yes.
I can't sleep. I need a cup of coffee. I need some tea. In this case, hopefully, eventually, they have the lounges. You can be like, hey, let me go out there, have a cup of Joe, smoke me a joint, and relax. But hopefully they fix that, man. But yeah, 24 hours keeps you open. And
one of the other issues was when the closing time would come around, they would still have a bunch of customers that they're trying to rush and get out the door. And then when the morning opened up at 6 a.m., they'll have a long line. So basically one of the things that shows is that there's other businesses in the area, like the tattoo shop and a couple of restaurants and whatever that are open late night, and those people want to get their stuff, during those odd hours, So congratulations to that. We expect to see more 24-hour dispensaries coming in the near future. Also, it's about that time of year again. Okay, so if some of these
Christmas?
No, well, Christmas for some, yeah. So any of the MMEs who haven't that didn't apply for recreational, now that reapplication time is going to be coming back around for MME license holders. So if they let's say you have a medical dispensary, or let's say you have a cultivation, now pretty soon here in the near future is going to be time for you to shoot your shot. If you want to reapply, if you want to try to do some type of dispensary thing, so expect to hear some more news about that. Some more, maybe a cultivator putting a dispensary online, or a medical dispensary like some of the ones I think in Henderson. They might start doing recreational instead of just only medical. And that brings us to one of the odd stories of the week.
I know this one.
Yeah.
That was kind of weird, that fake dispensary that just popped out.
Yes, this fake medical marijuana dispensary. They had signage up. They had display cases.
I actually got the name of it. It was called Elevate Medical Pharmacy.
Elevate Medical Pharmacy.
Yeah.
Yes, they have display cases. They had a whole bunch of cannabis in there.
It was all legit, man. They looked like a original store. Everything. They were open at midnight. Supposedly the guy that ran the shop next to him, like a car shop, they were like, hey man, look, they're arresting the guy. And the guy's name is Clayton Bernard.
Yeah, Clayton Bernard. So very ambitious young man. Very ambitious young man. But there is due process.
There is,
if you want to go through that, and I understand that a lot of regular people don't have the money to go out and get a medical marijuana establishment license. But there are ways that you could collaborate. There are teams of people out there. I mean, if you have a chunk of money, there are conversations being made, but you're not gonna nobody's gonna work with him now. Nobody's gonna work with him now. And
if
so
he comes out,
he shot his shot, airball, and game over.
And according to what the news report said, it all came down to they didn't see no certificates on the wall. So whoever went in there, they must have, where's the certificates at? Because they probably went to another one and they saw these certs, but he didn't have no certificate of state of Nevada.
Well, I'll tell you this. I know that many industry leaders, of course, they're very strongly against the black market and the gray market because it cuts into their profit, it cuts into that money. So sometimes when you hear industry leaders talking about the black market, they're talking about those guys need to be shut down, those guys need to be arrested and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody who knows something, because regular patients and recreational users, they're not going into the dispensaries looking for licenses and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is somebody in the know, somebody in the industry that went to check it out, this new facility or whatever, and they noticed stuff like that. Like, wait a second, where's the licensing?
Now, out of that 3.6 mil that made in taxes, this year, I mean, not this year, it's only been a couple months since it became legal. How much would you say illegally was made?
How much would I say? I don't know that much.
Do you think more or less?
In Vegas or Nevada?
In Nevada.
I don't know the numbers on the black market. I really wish I could.
Just that alone, if you do it a year, that's almost 50 million.
Yeah.
So, if somebody's coming into that profit, they're definitely going to make sure that, no, you can't get into this.
Now, another thing I want to talk about with the 27 million in the first month. Well,
that's the first month.
Yeah, the first month. The 27 million profit in the first month. That is that some of that money is from sales, but a big chunk of that money is from the application processes and the licensing fees that all these businesses have to pay, and that's where some of that profit
that's smart from. Because by them doing that, that's recurable income.
Yeah, because you got to reapply. You got to reapply for your license and stuff.
So every year it's gonna get higher.
Yep. So there is the latest in the local news. There you have it, folks. We're going to go on to a short little break, and when we come back, we'll have with us our special guest. All right. So we'll talk to you guys in a minute.
During the scheduled break, the show host spoke with the guests about the topics they intended to cover in the forthcoming interview. The recording of episode 19, segment 2, continues at approximately 7:45 p.m.
All right, welcome back. We're here in the next segment of the podcast, and this is where we get to have a in-studio guest. As you guys, we haven't had an in-studio guest in a long time, and this is the thing. Most guests that come on the show, believe it or not, because they're runners, they're students, a lot of times when they come on the show, it's their first time ever broadcasting their thoughts about cannabis. However, today, I'm happy to tell you we have an expert. She's no rookie. This is not her first time, so this is new for the show because we're bringing on an expert now.
Yeah. So get ready, guys. Now, we go first. You mean?
Well, I want to introduce her, but I will allow her to introduce herself because I don't know all the titles and kind of a little bit about your background. Tell us about yourself. Who are you? And
hello, everyone. This is Nurse Juhlzie.
Juhlzie, that's how you say it.
Juhlzie, like the jewel of the Nile.
Nice, okay. Nice. Nurse Juhlzie. She's a nurse. Now, I don't know about the letters or what they mean, but
right, well, let me just start here. I've been a nurse here in Southern Nevada since 2005 when I moved back to specialize in my nursing field. I've worked many years as a pediatric ER trauma nurse at UMC Hospital and at Sunrise Children's. And
trauma nurse,
right?
So is that like bad injuries?
Like if you're bleeding out, I'm that nurse. That
with kids though.
Kids too, yes.
Yeah, she's dealt with
that. So from birth till 18 years of age. And then they had us cross train over into the adult side. So I much rather.
So was there a lot of blood in that at the time?
Well, not every day. You have broken bones. You have a ruptured appendix. Lots of different things.
She actually has a very interesting career real. Like I looked her up. I did a little research.
Oh, am I Googleable? I haven't Googled myself. Everyone says you should.
Sometimes you have to. You're like, what's out there for?
Well, if you do, let me just start with this. So I've been in the cannabis industry. I was introduced to cannabis in 2010, and I am a patient. I am a medical marijuana patient, and I'm proud of it. And it's pretty much saved my life. And then I started getting involved because I had noticed I didn't have anywhere. I didn't have a place to go. We didn't have dispensaries back then. There wasn't safe product. Everything was black market. I had to send my stage 4 cancer patients to the black market. I'm like, no, we need to build this bridge. So I got involved in making sure, like with Senator Tick Seeger-Bloom, to get legislation passed. And now today, in 2017, we have dispensaries. So there's our safe access, and now we have safe products through our lab companies. Right. And thus, we have the best in the country. So going through all that, over the years, I as a patient then started getting, a lot better and getting involved and learning about it. And everyone was always like, you know what? I don't know that answer. That's a good question. We should ask Nurse Juhlzie. So I had patients come in to ask me medical questions, health questions, pediatric questions with their kids, tons of questions about cannabis. And I found that there was an actual science behind the plant. So I am known as #AskNurseJuhlzie. And if I don't know the answer, I go and seek it because we're always learning every day. I don't know everything. I don't make any claim to, but people are calling me an expert now, and I suppose I am in certain areas of cannabis, especially in nursing.
So if you have a question, send her one at AskNurseJuhlzie, and that's, correct me if I'm wrong, JUHLZIE.com?
Correct.
Okay, so definitely send her your questions. Pretty sure she'll get back to you within 24 to 48 hours.
Well, maybe not this week. We'll explain that.
This week we're really busy. But I'm also known as Juhlzie Kilowatt on Facebook. And it's kind of interesting because I kind of started that page. I have my family page with, my family, my little right-wing Republican church-going family. And then there's the cannabis side. And if they even knew that I was even studying or learning about it, or even, God forbid, even be smoking it, I would have been, excommunicated from the family. But that's okay, because they don't know what they don't know. So in doing that, I had my Juhlzie Kilowatt page for the fear of the fact that a joule and a kilowatt are forms of energy. Right. And it kind of parallels to my personality.
You got full of energy.
I'm double the energy. Double the fun.
The kilowatt.
Juhlzie Kilowatt. So that's how I got to become Ask Nurse Juhlzie.
Isn't that joule means like an amount of
Yeah, it's a measurement of energy.
Yes. Joule.
So is a kilowatt.
Kilowatt.
Okay. So it's double the power.
Nice.
So a lot of people don't know that little history behind me. But that's, and then going through the community when patients would have questions like, that's an excellent question you need to ask Nurse Juhlzie. And some of our other advocates way back when we all started out, Cindy Brown and Rick Brown, I love them to pieces.
Shout out to Cindy and Rick.
Cindy and Rick.
Thank you for everything you guys do.
And the core, we've grown over the years tremendously as a community, and we're not the same little community we once were. Big business is in Vegas.
Yeah.
Expanding.
Yep.
And you gotta keep moving with the times. You can't stay in one place.
Time,
things
constant.
change. Time is constant. So you got to be adaptable. It's a different situation than 2010, than 2015.
Right.
Now it's a different time. You got to be able to adapt.
Well, and I've seen the experience I bring with me is a fact. Here we were in this black market, then it went kind of gray there for a bit, and now we're supposed to be pure white like snow, which we're not, but we have the best, I believe, some of the best regulations in the country. And I know our testing in Nevada is by far the best. And we'll talk about some of the labs out there doing the great work that they're doing. That's a whole nother show.
Yeah. Yeah, those labs, I love them. Shout out to DB Labs and DigiPath Labs. I love them guys. Oh, and Ace. And there's a ton of labs out there.
Nevada.Can lab.
Nevada.Can. Nevada.Can. So just definitely salute to the labs. Thanks for all the work that you guys do. This isn't just an in-out type of thing. I know when people think about cannabis testing, they think I could do that. I could be a cannabis tester where I just test it out and see if it's good or not, you know. But it's a process, and to even test like a gram, it takes a long time to run it through these $50,000 machines, $60,000, $1 million equipment, and so you got to have a lot of time and brains and to get that done. So salute to the labs.
Well, and it's extremely necessary because a lot of people divide cannabis people out, the medical side, the adult use, or the recreational. Call it what you want. We as medical providers look at all consumers as being patients. And if we're putting this product in our bodies, we need to make sure it's safe, free of metals, free of any pesticides, mildews, all sorts of things. So when the legislation was getting built here in Nevada, I think we've done our due diligence, and we have profane piles for cannabinoids and terpenes, and it's phenomenal. And those are wonderful markers for patients to learn how to be able to read lab results and be able to apply it to what strain will work best for their conditions and their diagnoses.
Yeah, so that chimes back into what we talked about last episode on episode 18, the lab results. You don't have to just get the lab label, because when they give you your product, it has a lab label on it, but there's also a further, more detailed list of results that you can ask for. And we were saying that sometimes when you ask, can I have the lab results, they say, oh, it's this right here, this label right here.
Yeah, no, it's not the sticker on the little joint container. They usually have to pull them out of their files, and that strain specifically has testing for that strain. And you really want to know, is this a product that did have some problems and maybe was turned into oil or processed in a different route, which still is great, but you want that product tested for sure.
I wasn't aware it went that deep.
Yeah, and so basically, if you're a bud tender, you should at least know that much, because I've asked bud tenders, I need the lab report, and like, oh, this is it, and I'm like, no, the report.
They don't know what they don't know, so we need to train a little bit more better our bud tenders. And this brings up a really good topic, guys, because I know we have bud tenders, I know there's excellent people behind that counter, but when you consider every consumer a patient, some people know what they want, they come in, they get it, they leave. Other people, it's their first time they're ever walking into it, and it happens to be their senior population, and they need to be treated and respected and loved, because this has been illegal for so many years. They finally walk into a place and go, I still feel like, someone's going to come and arrest me, and it's legal now. So it's hard for them to make that bridge and that gap. So when they come in, they really want to know the science and what's best for their ailments. So that's where I say it's important that every patient deserves a nurse.
Yes.
And every dispensary, I could foresee nurses working in dispensaries. And if patients wanted consults, that would be an option too.
I could see that working.
And it's already working across other states. Yes.
They talk to a nurse. It gives them a more one-on-one with the patient. What ails you? What's going on? Okay, we got this. We can suggest this for you, and it makes it more exclusive.
Well, this is something. It's like there's a huge gap in our healthcare system, from the cannabis patients all the way to the healthcare industry.
No education of it, right?
Well, okay, for one, doctors were not taught about it in medical school and nursing school, about the endocannabinoid system. Did you know we have an endocannabinoid system?
Yes.
And did you know?
Because he's a runner.
That 90% of it's not taught out there. Right. Dr. David Allen did a wonderful study back in the 1990s, stating how went to the top med schools, and they would be lucky if they had a paragraph, and it usually was the Schedule 1, marijuana, don't touch it. It's the evil Schedule 1. Right. And that's all they teach. And there's a huge science behind it. And this is our balancing system. And I get all excited about this because this is the link to really help heal our healthcare system and the problems that we have. So with any nurses involved, it allows us, we work with all avenues of the healthcare team. So we can call the patient's physician up and say, hey, listen, this patient wants to titrate, get off their opioids because, they're on way too many. So we can't make that. It takes a prescription and a doctor's involvement, and then we together can help that patient wean themselves and titrate off and get them onto medical strains and products that works best for them.
Take them off other things.
Right, and then the doctors, they don't even understand this. Not all, the doctors, it's because they haven't been taught. They don't know what they don't know. Because a lot of my patients will come and like, my doctor doesn't know anything. So that gets us into one of the main reasons I'm here is through Cannabis Nurses Magazine. And,
yeah, tell us about that. Cannabis Nurses Magazine. Now, I went to one of the parties. I was at the top of one of the buildings a long time ago. I took some pictures. I got interviewed by Anya. So
was that our first year?
The first year, I think that was the first.
2015.
Yeah, I went to that one.
October.
The launch. Was that the launch?
No, it was at the Mandalay Bay.
Okay,
up on the top
one
floor.
to the top, yeah.
And it was the launch for the Cannabis Nurses Magazine.
Yeah, the launch. I did go to that launch.
So,
I got pictures from the launch too.
Oh gosh, it just seems like decades ago, but it was just 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, and this is interesting. So, coming back into medicine, I was working with my colleagues and like, Jules, you can't even consider even getting into cannabis. What are you doing? It's career suicide. It's a Schedule I drug. And I said, knowing what I know, and I just went home and started Googling one day because a friend of mine said, hey, did you know that cannabis cures cancer? I'm like, that's a pretty bold statement. You can't be going around saying that's you cure people of cancer. So I went home and Googled and did my due diligence, and I kind of opened Pandora's box to where we are today. And that is, everyone says there's not enough research, which is a complete lie. Okay, I'm sorry, Nancy Reagan, I love you to pieces, but the Just Say No campaign, N-O, it should be just no with a K-N-O-W. We gotta know.
Right.
We gotta know.
Gotta know.
We gotta know that this plant is the balancing system plant to our bodies. And it balances every single organ. We have receptors, and it's not just the cannabis plant. I'm going into it probably too much, and that's okay. There's a science behind it. And the good news is we're having our Cannabis Nurses Magazine anniversary party.
Yes.
This coming Friday, October 6th, from 7 to 10.
Yep.
Ooh, nice. 7 to 10.
At the Las Vegas City Hall.
Yep.
Yes.
It's at 495 South Main Street, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89101. So if you guys need to know where it's at, there's the address. Put in your GPS. Check out their website.
Well, and you have to have the meaning behind why we do this, okay? There's reasons why. Education is the key, but we have to have fun in doing that. So we're a bi-monthly magazine. We're an evidence-based education. It's not your normal High Times or Dope Magazine. I love all those magazines that are out there. But when you read ours, these articles are written by real nurses, real physicians, real experts across the country and world. And then at the end of it, you have all this research that you can do your homework on. So we're not just saying this is the article and believe it. It's like you have evidence-based education behind it. So we take nurses and we put them on the cover because there's nurses not just like me. I had to go find people like me. There's no one here in the state of Nevada thinking the way I was. So I went out and I met other nurses. We have a lot of our keynote speakers coming up at our Cannabis Nurses Network conference.
Nice.
So we are stepping up the game. We have our award ceremony to honor those leaders of nursing in cannabis. So we have 6 cover nurses that are going to be awarded. Along with 2 of our athletes. This is the athlete show, right, you guys?
Yeah.
So we nurses, we work at a national level, and we work with a lot of different athletes out there. So Marvin Washington, who was on the New York Jets, the Broncos, and the 49ers, we call him Coach Marv. And Eddie Boo Williams from the Saints. They were on our November-December 2016 issue. So if you want to go to www.cannabisnursesmagazine.com, look up the November-December 2016 issue in our archives, and you'll see the cover. You have Boo Williams, Nurse Hatter, Nurse Juhlzie, and Coach sitting there in the front line.
They're all lined up. They're on the line of scrimmage.
Cool. So they're receiving awards on Friday night also. So there's going to be some nice star power there. And it encompasses our 3-day.
So are the awards at the party from 7 to 10?
Yes.
Oh, the awards at the party.
7 to 10 or 7 to 8 is like the mingle time.
Okay.
8 to 9 will be the awards ceremony, and then 9 to 10, I'm sure it's going to be like the paparazzi.
I see.
Because you get the nurses and the athletes together. We're a lot of fun, we are, and it's about really elevating the conversation, and to us. I've worked, as nurses, we've worked hard to get safe access. We have our dispensaries and safe product with good testing. We ran into some issues this year with safe consumption. And it seems to be, even though, there is no public consumption, if you look at the NRS 453 statutes, no public consumption, which is hard for me to understand, that a plant that's been here for 5,000 years, we've been smoking it without having a society tell us not to smoke it. But this society today in which we live and we're governed under does not allow us to consume this plant. So I think we kind of went a little backwards here, and it's because of the war on drugs from the Nixon campaign, and we're at the whole history behind it. So we have to. Everyone keeps saying, "Nurse Juhlzie, just be patient," and I'm like, but people are dying. So we need to get access to these people, and if we need to consume wherever we need to consume, I think we as a society should allow that. And if you have to corral us in a little spot, then do so, but do it responsibly. So this conference, we're having October 5th to 7th. It's the Cannabis Nurses Network Conference. You can find this information on www.cnnc2017.com. It's our landing page for all this information. But it's 3 days. So for the first day, we're actually holding Thursday and Friday at, where are we holding it?
UNLV, baby.
Yes, the Rebels, the Running Rebels. I love UNLV. I am an alumni. I graduated there with one of my degrees in kinesiology. And I love athletes. I was an athlete most of my life. I played field hockey, softball, volleyball, basketball, you know.
Right on.
So, but I didn't in those days. But anyways, we felt it was important to really bring our education to the university at that level. We're partnering up with UNLV Students for Sensible Drug Policy, who are affiliate sponsors, along with Las Vegas NORML. And we felt it was really important to incorporate them into this because students for SSDP, Students for Sensible Drug Policy, they want education and good viable education. And Thursday, we are bringing the education for cannabis education for nurses for 5.33 CEUs, continuing education units.
Yeah.
Now, do you realize this is good for nurses in all 50 states? So anybody can come, all nurses. We have it open to everyone, not just nurses, but nurses will get, and 2 of those are in pharmacokinetics. I know that's for the APRN nurses, so I mean it's advanced practice nursing. So it covers everything, and it's epic. The program was designed by Jenny Storm. She's out of Colorado. She did her master's thesis, and we kind of incorporated this as her project, so then we can now take this curriculum all over the country. So this is the first conference series that we want to do to really elevate the conversation and educate our nurses. Why is that important? Because if we educate the nurses all over our country, they take this science and this knowledge back to their communities and their states, they then can become the Ask Nurse Juhlzie of their state.
Right.
And they teach the patients, which the patients teach the doctors, which the doctors, and
it's a whole cycle.
Right. So we're kind of infiltrating, and it's a huge movement.
Yeah.
It's a huge movement.
And that's what we were saying earlier. Remember I was talking about I want to go to these running conferences so I could take this 420 running message to all these people at the conference, and then they take it back to their home state.
Awareness, and it's just awareness.
Yeah, I like their motto: real information, real articles, evidence-based articles, and easy to read formats for the average reader.
Right.
Some of these lingo I was telling him earlier.
Tetrahydrocannabinol.
I was like, what?
Hey.
That's like the super duper alidocious type of thing.
Well, we call those mayonnaise words. So mayonnaise has 9 letters, and if the word is longer than 9 letters, then it's a mayonnaise word.
Mayonnaise.
That's a new one.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
I talk in in medical terminology, and they'll go, Jules, mayonnaise. And I go, oh yes. Okay. So, but anyway, so that Thursday from 9 to 5, we have the Cannabis Education for Nurses at Greenspan Hall. And then October 6th at the Foundations Building, we're having the Endocannabinoid Connections Workshop, which is going to be phenomenal, along with the interactive sportsbook panel. So the morning part from 9 to 12, you've learned it in class, the science. Now we get to apply it. So Nurse Heather, she's from San Diego, Heather Manis, I love her, she's adorable. She's super knowledgeable. She's going to be reviewing the endocannabinoid system with you again. And we're going to be drinking teas and cocoa which are ways, these are endocannabinoids and terpenes, and ways that we can feed our endocannabinoid system.
And because I believe it's like the endocannabinoid system, like when you get your runner's high, when you're out there running for like 5 miles or whatever, they start to be like,
so she's bringing.
That's when you feel like you can run another 4.
Yeah.
She's bringing her Nature Nurse product line, which we have cocoa cannabinoids, which are a 2.5 milligram dose of CBD only.
Okay.
And this is the hemp base, so there's no, getting in trouble with the no consumption. And the funny thing is there's so many ways to feed our endocannabinoid system with cannabinoids that there's so many different ones, not just in the cannabis plant, but in all different plant matters. So we're going to be taking all those other plant matters that are not stuck in Schedule 1, like cannabis, and utilize those to feed our endocannabinoid system. And then Marcy, she's our holistic nurse from Colorado flying in, and she is going to do some acupuncture, teaching of the ears, a nice simple little way to be able to decrease some stress. And then I teach on the terpenes, and we are going to make your own terpene profile to take home. And True Terpenes is one of our main sponsors for that. And we have diffusers, it's going to be totally incorporated, so by the time you get to lunch, you guys are going to be so happy and hungry, and lunch is included. And then that'll get us prepared for the afternoon, which is our interactive sportsbook panel. And that's where we have Marvin Washington,
Coach
Boo Williams, Frank Hawkins, who's one of our locals from the Raiders, and W.E.C.A.N dispensary, and then Steve Cantwell. Who
GLP, baby, GLP for life.
I know. So
all organic, no till.
Our W.E.C.A.N champion and UFC fighter. I love Steve. He's amazing. So it's going to be funny because you're going to have little Steve with his big dudes. And it's just lots of nurses and lots of knowledge. And we're going to make it fun and interactive. And you can get your signatures and autographs with them, selfies, whatever. Because we really want, because these guys are really out in the field. And if you go back to that issue in Cannabis Nurses magazine, you'll read the story of Marvin Washington, and he goes all over the country and lectures. And it's really amazing to see these athletes have that knowledge and that science behind them and the research. So when they're going there and say, hey, did you know we have 3 governmental studies as an antioxidant, an anti-inflammatory, and a neuroprotectant. And we really want to see CBDs be allowed to our athletes. And it's not just our adult athletes. We gotta remember the kiddos, our kids. Our kids.
I've seen a lot of stories on Facebook, Twitter, where moms that kids are having seizures. They're using CBDs to help,
and THC
to help them cope with this, and they're actually improving instead of spending all this money that they've been spending for years on these pills and medicines that are not working.
So imagine at the halftime when our little kids playing soccer, bonking their head, causing CTI to their brain, little concussions. Why not feed them cocoa cannabinoids, CBD cocoa cannabinoids, a 2.5 little microdose with their orange slices, and they get back on that field. Hello, yes, this is where medicine's going, and it's going to be seen more as cannabis being used more of a preventative med and not as a rescue med. When almost everything fails. Oh my God, the radiation failed, the chemotherapy pretty much killed me, and I guess I'll try cannabis now. Why don't we put cannabis at the front of the line and learn how to incorporate? And it's not for everyone, and I understand that, but I've seen so many amazing success stories, and I am one myself. I would not be sitting here today with the conditions in which I have if it wasn't for cannabis in my body every day. So I ended up having to take myself out of direct patient care for that reason, because I needed cannabinoids in my body, and I was going to show tested for THC, so I was responsible. And it's amazing.
That's awesome.
So, but the laws haven't caught up with the science, so they will in time.
Hopefully.
Now, I also heard that you recently you're going to be inducted into the Southern Pueblo Library System?
Oh, last year.
That was
last year in May of 2016. Lisa Lefevre, she's down in Pueblo, Colorado. We did a series, an educational series, and we toured over there, and that's one of the places we landed. Lots of things happening in Colorado. And in the Pueblo County, Colorado library system, they took our magazines, and it's there to be checked out. And it's just like, I never thought our magazine would be in a library system. And it kind of like is kind of, when that happened, right, when that happened last year, kind of like was like, wow, okay. When Robert, who's our publisher, he's sitting quietly in the background, he came to me and said, hey, I got the most perfect idea for a platform to get the knowledge and the research out there. And I'm like, what? He goes, Cannabis Nurses Magazine. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, that's right, that sounds wonderful. And then it's like, boom, we just took off. It's sort of like, Reese Witherspoon, and when she went to law school one day and said, hey, I'm going to go be an attorney. Well, I said, hey, I'm going to go be an editor. I didn't know what. I had the knowledge and the science part back behind me, and I knew it had to get out there. So this is, bootstrapping from the beginning. We're a grassroots organization, and we've been extremely successful over the last 2 years. Nice. So much that last year we won through Nurse Heather Manis, the Educational Achievement Award for 2016, and that included the Cannabis Nurses Magazine, the 1 year that we were out. I mean, we were up against like Sue Sicily and Mary Lynn Maffrey, who's this nurse that's been like started the ACNA, and all these like super power people. And then I know they called Nurse Heather in the Cannabis Nurses Magazine as that award, and we're just completely humble and honored because we still have so far to go, but we've made great strides. Nurses all over the country pick it up now. They read it, they apply it, and there's so many good things happening.
So I know you guys you can check it out online. Now, as far as the print publication, if nurses or somebody want to, can they subscribe?
Yes, we do. So we were trying to go all digital and go green. Right. But what we found was people want that printed magazine in front of their hands. So Robert's like, let's do subscriptions. So yeah, you can go to www.cannabisnursesmagazine.com and purchase a 1 or 2 year subscription. I believe we still have some Kindle versions up that's coming up, so be patient. We're still in the works. We're trying to get all that going. And yes, you can get these printed copies delivered to your home or office. We've even had patients order them for their physician's offices, and they just kind of get sent there. And then that whole office starts learning about the science behind the plant, and it just kind of...
The prank backfire. Right. They're pranking them, like, hey, I'm like, oh, well, this is interesting. Oh, then they start learning.
Well, and it's interesting. It's like cannabis nurses, cannabis nursing. It's not even a specialty yet in nursing. However, when I said this was a movement, by starting this magazine, it coined the name Cannabis Nurses. We coined that. And then from there, we have American Cannabis Nurses Association, who's another professional, just like the ANA for American Nurses Association.
I did see that.
ACNA. They're the ones that are doing the hard work in getting this to become an accredited, like a nursing specialty. So the reason why we started, and then the other organization we do is Cannabis Nurses Network.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. If there was some if somebody wanted to get involved with that,
right?
What do you guys do?
That's what this is about. So we have the Cannabis Nurses Magazine. We have the Nature Nurse product line. You can go to naturenursehealth.com for the products, and then we have the Cannabis Nurses Network, which is a global network for nurses who want to learn about the cannabis and science behind the plant. So ACNA, there's some branding issues when you're dealing with accreditation. There's certain rules that you have to stand by, and they don't, because the pharmaceutical companies got in there and they used it more as like a branding kind of thing, so you can't use branding on that end of it. So we created Cannabis Nurses Network. So if you want to be a nurse and come out of the traditional and still work in your environment, but you want to work and teach cannabis therapeutics, you can be a consultant. You can have your own brand. You can do an ancillary business. And we're working through Nature Nurse to even have another educational facet to it to become a nature nurse, utilizing the product lines and all that, through training and certification. And that's why we started Cannabis Nurses Network, because through this network, we are starting a whole huge educational series. This is the very inaugural conference here in Nevada, and this will be going to other states, across the nation. And then we're also doing the online core curriculum, because not everyone can make it to these. These are bits, but these are like really like morale boosters when you go to these conferences. You know, like big things happen.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, I see you guys got the conference, you got the magazine, you got the network, the association. The other thing was the nurse something that you said.
Nature Nurse Health.
Yeah, Nature Nurse Health. You guys got a lot of things. Spread the message, getting awareness out there. Now, what I'm wondering, with all this activity with cannabis and nurses, is there any podcast? Is there any podcast that nurses could tune into maybe once a month or something?
Right. Well, Nurse Heather did a lot of work in that. She has Good News with Nurse Heather. I know there's tons of podcasts. Her and Kenny. These two are just so dynamite and so phenomenal. Kenny happens to be who's going to be one of our keynote speakers for our Cannabis Nurses Network Conference 2017, Ken Sobel. He has done much legislation all over the country, especially with Arizona Cannabis Nurses Association. He's the one that fought for PTSD, and Parkinson's, Huntington's, I mean, you name it, they've been fighting it for the last 5 years. So did you know, because of the work that Heather and Kenny did in Arizona, that our legislation in Nevada pulled the PTSD in and put it into our Nevada legislation? He's the one that started that.
Wow.
So, and he's done a lot of work in the Virgin Islands.
Thanks, Kenny.
All over New Mexico, California. So anyways, I get all excited. What was that?
Well, you're just explaining how Kenny has been changing the game since he's been involved.
So he's
But I do have another question.
Oh, please.
I don't want to interrupt. Now, this tattoo you have. I see you have a tattoo on your arm.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about it? When you got it? Tell the viewers what it is, what it means, when you got it.
Describe it. First of all, what do you guys see in the background? What's the?
I see a red cross.
Red cross.
A red cross. Okay.
Rescues.
Medical.
Right, and on top of that cross is
Cannabis
right,
leaf.
is it a sativa or an indica?
Sativa.
It's a sativa. So it's a red cross with a cannabis sativa leaf over in green with some dark outlining of the leaf.
Yeah.
And this was originally designed.
And it's on her inner forearm, below the elbow.
So if you turn your arm over on your forearm, you know, it's like anytime you're riding or driving, it's just like, bam, it's right there.
Yeah.
So I got this because there was a point in my life I knew I physically could no longer work as a trauma nurse. I was a trauma nurse. A trauma came in and I was working on the patient, and it's been a long 12-hour shifts and stuff, and all of a sudden my hand's starting to contract and go south. And when I say my left hand go contractures, I literally, because I didn't have enough cannabinoids in my body, and I was being a respectful nurse and not consuming on the job and blah, 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 I realized at that time I had to pull myself out of direct patient care and get cannabinoids in my body, because my body was suffering. I was going to die if I didn't. So this is to remind me that anything I now give to my patients, I have to consider if it's causing harm or good. And when you do IVs, that's always there, because there's so many years, and I know some of these meds are out there, but they're not working. Our seizure pediatric kids that come in and they have constant seizures, and the narcotics and the barbiturates that we push through those tiny little veins at such a young age. You know, when we can use a wholesome plant simply by a transdermal patch, or rubbing it on their feet as a lotion, or a sublingually under their tongue,
or as a drop,
instead of causing and doing no harm. I took an oath, and I don't want to do harm.
Is it the Hippocratic oath?
It's a Hippocratic oath, but I take it
I just wanted to see if I...
You are?
Okay. Oh, okay, yeah, I heard that before.
So this tattoo, and I laughed because when I came home with it, we were doing some fundraiser in 2014. I've been an advocate for many years, and they had a little rig and the little tickets to whatever show, and they had this tattoo, and this one patient couldn't afford it, and I said, no, I'll go ahead and pick up, and here you have the tickets, and you have, the medical dispensing device, the rig, and, well, I guess I'm getting the tattoo. And I decided to put it on my forearm that day. So when I came home, my brother comes over and we're barbecuing for the night and stuff, and he rips my arm over and looks at it and he goes, "What are you doing with a tattoo in the no tattoo zone? Do you know you can no longer work in the industry with this? What are you gonna do, sister?" And we come from a very right-winged Republican family. Just say no, I didn't consume cannabis until 2010. Yes, it's only been 7 years. And I looked to my brother and I said, "Dear brother, your sister no longer can work as a trauma nurse or anywhere I physically can't. And this is to remind me of what I need to do now, because my mission is to get the mission and the science of the plant out there. So this is a reminder." And I forget I have it because I shake hands. I don't have it on my shake hand. I did it on my left. So if I need to, and if I have to be in a wedding or photography or whatever, but who cares? No, I forget I have it on here. It's a great reminder. So this actual image was the one that they designed in the 1990s for California when their legislation passed. If you do know your symbols. So the
I had no idea.
The Jack Hare era.
Okay.
And
that's the leaf that they use for the thing?
Well, the Red Cross.
Oh, the Red Cross with the leaf?
Yeah.
Oh,
this
okay.
image in the 1990s was used during that
a historical connection.
Right. And it was funny because
Now, what state were you in when you got that?
Here in Nevada.
Here, okay.
We were doing, it was one of the festivals back in 2014. And it was a radio station and all this, get up. And I'm all about giving back to the community, so.
Okay.
But I took the tattoo.
Nice. Yeah. Can't pass that up.
So, but on that, it's really important is the education. So that's why we're doing the Cannabis Nurses Network Conference, October 5th through the 7th. So I said the Thursday is the Cannabis Education for
5.33 CEUs.
October 6th is the Endocannabinoids Connections Workshop and Interactive Sportsbook Panel.
And expect to drink some tea.
Right.
And some cocoa.
And learn from the expert nursing panel. We have a Cannabis Nurses Network, our first expert nursing panel. We have 6 nurses from across the country who will be speaking on it. So if you want to hear them, great. There's phenomenal things that they're doing. And then on the 7th, so the Friday nights are Cannabis Nurses Magazine 2-year anniversary party with the Leaders in Nursing Awards.
Nice.
And then on the 7th, to tie it all in together, we're doing a dispensary and lab tour. And from 10 to 2. And all these can be purchased for VIP or a la carte. Okay, and you can go to CNNC 2017 for tickets on that. And then the tour is going to be fun. We have to say a shout out. And we are so proud and honored to have DB Labs be one of our main sponsors for that.
Shout out to DB Labs.
Yeah.
Curtis and Susan over there doing their thing.
Susan and Curtis have been amazing. I've known them for the last 3.5, almost 4 years. Ever since I followed legislation. I was at every single city, county, state meeting you can even imagine because I knew.
Some people think I went to a lot of events. No, she went to a lot of events.
It was
not events and other things that are involved with this.
Right,
this
and
industry.
I've been to pretty much almost every event. Since when I say gray, black, and white market, I've been to them all. I know pretty much everybody in all different facets.
Yeah.
So it's interesting
because there are some black market parties, gray market parties that
every consumer is a patient. So dabs. I'm a girl who dabs. There's certain days when I'm in so much neuropathy pain, I need that dab to get me through, and it's just microdosing. Some of those days you need that. But those that need to do it recreationally, you know what? They can self-medicate all they want. And when we do get the science behind it, it'll be interesting to see. But they're still patients too.
Yeah.
So I welcome everyone. We welcome everyone. I will say this. It's been interesting because we were told we weren't going to be able to have this conference. And the reason for that, when I was up at the Cannabis Science Conference at the end of the month in August, Jackie Holloway from the Clark County came out with a letter to all the establishment licensing holders saying that they could no longer put their logos, sponsor any public consumption events. So we have come far, but we've hit this block.
And this isn't a public consumption event.
No, it's not.
It's not a public consumption event.
We're an education only, non-consumption event. Everyone's
Okay.
going to sign a little waiver, everything. But I mean, gosh, honestly, we had to do something to bring in awareness. The issue that we had with DigiPath Labs when they got their hands smacked by Clark County, and when Jacqueline and the fines that they had gotten for having their logo on a dinner party that had cannabis, edibles on it. It's kind of interesting. It's just we've come so far, but then we still have so much further to go. So what we found is when an article, so that Jacqueline Holloway, so all our sponsors, a lot of sponsors we had pulled out. They had $10 million on the line. A dispensary, cultivation, and production or lab didn't really want to put their neck out there for a nursing organization over their $10 million for getting the Clark County license pulled. So we as a board did our due diligence, and we decided to go and talk to Las Vegas Metro, Chuck Holloway, and we met with him. Told him this is what we're doing, a non-consumption event. We're, bringing in and elevating the conversation and trying to educate the Las Vegas community. He was like, oh, I love what you guys are doing, and we kind of heard how they've been working to try and get things to going too. Told him we need to work on those DUID issues, and I'd be happy to come educate them. But he wishes us well and totally supports our event. From there, we went to the Clark County and got to meet with Jacqueline Holloway, but she referred us to Jennifer Weber, who is the marijuana agent, and met with her and Mika, who's on the internal part of the Clark County, and let everybody know what we're doing. And it was so sweet because Jennifer Weber, just everyone out there, establishment licensing holders, she wants to send a message out, instead of asking, I'm telling, that she's not the bad guy. She's just trying to make sure everyone follows the rules and guidelines that have been established within the state and the county.
Crossing your I's and T's, guys.
So she's like, please don't be scared of me. So, and then she also said, any sponsors who wish to sponsor our event, please call her and they'll give us our blessing. So, and then we met with the city of Las Vegas, dropped off information for the city of, for the mayor, Carolyn Goodman. She's so cute. Had coffee with her.
I tried to get there. I it was the coffee bean, and
right, it was over in Summerlin.
Summerlin, yeah, I missed it.
And Ward 3, and got a little coffee and gave her a little VIP pass to come to our event. So how did it all come down to why we're having it at City Hall? So normally we just, for the 2 years in a row, we've had our Cannabis Nurses Awards or party, okay? One inaugural, the first year, this is our second year. So we just wanted to have a place to host our awards ceremony at. And last year we did it at the Rock House at the Plaza, which was absolutely beautiful, but it was just too crazy downtown on the Strip, and it was really hard for a lot of our nurses to navigate that craziness, and it was too much excitement. So we're like, okay, maybe it's a little too Vegas-y, but every venue we wanted to go to was somehow the only entity we didn't talk to was the Nevada Gaming Commission, because we're hosting our nurses at an off-gaming casino. We thought of everything except purposely, going to talk to them. Yeah. Because we wanted to host it at the Night Owl showroom, and it was a beautiful showroom, everything with the stage, but it was over at Hooters of all places. And because it was attached to gaming came back and said, nope, you can't host your event here. So every place we went to was nope. And you would be surprised how many companies are associated with gaming. I didn't realize it. So we basically said, you know what? This is ridiculous. We have a beautiful city hall. My Chris Morwood, our program director, when we went in there to deliver some of the notice, our packets, our invites that we're having it, she's like, this building is beautiful. You guys have the most beautiful buildings here in Las Vegas, and she loves the architecture here. And we actually do have beautiful architecture. And so we decided, because of all the issues we were having, trying to find a place, even though it's an educationally non-consumption event, we don't touch the medicine or anything, we decided to have it at City Hall on the front porch to bring awareness that this public consumption issue, it is an issue. No public consumption is an issue. why are you going to sell product to patients and tourists and our locals and not give them a place?
Make it illegal.
And fine people $680 tickets if you're caught.
I will be posting one of those tickets on my Instagram in the future.
Or the DUID, which if you get one of those, it's a good $10,000.
I won't be posting any of those.
Well, no, it's a real thing. I mean, we have it legal. 65% of the population of Nevada said yes, we want this. And maybe it's because they're scared and it's walking a thin line, because when you have Nevada gaming, it's federal. And I get it. I'm not mad and upset with Nevada gaming. I'm just saying when they meet with Governor Sandoval next week, in fact, I believe they're meeting on Friday with the Nevada Gaming Commission board to try and have some resolutions for our public consumption. So we decided to host our Cannabis Nurses Magazine award ceremony at City Hall to bring awareness. And everyone that is coming, we ask that you wear purple or something of purpley, and it's going to be kind of purple themed, because we really want to have that passion to know that we have safe access. We have our dispensaries in Nevada. We have safe products. We have our labs, but we need safe public consumption. And that's the next facet that we are working on, and that's why we're bringing awareness to the doorstep.
That's great. And now I remember when I was at MJ BizCon some point in time, a couple years ago or something, I remember there was like a little area, and I don't think anybody called it the designated smoking section, but everybody went there to smoke. I remember the security would like go make sure there's no trouble, then turn around. It seemed like, and so at that time,
well, they didn't really know what to do.
That was before a lot of the dispensaries and all the regulations. So that was a little while ago, but I felt like, wow, this is really modern times, because we're here at this hotel and we're all in this little area. The Rio, and we're all respecting this little smoking section, and the security guards are there. Everything seems to be kind of, looking away the opposite direction. So I figured that we're kind of going to be rolling in that direction. And I know when I went to Amsterdam and smoked, I remember a quick short story. I went to Amsterdam and I was thinking like, you know what? I'm going to smoke right in front of the cops. And the cops are right over there, and I'm like right there in front of them and stuff. And I light up, and I got my friends. I'm with some girls. I'm trying to impress some girls. And I light up, and I'm smoking, and then the cop walks over, and he's like, "You can't do that here." And I'm
you
like,
have to be in the cafe.
You have to be at a designated area, like at a particular park or outside the cafe. They might have like a white line where you can sit on this bench.
Don't cross the fence.
Exactly. So there were designated areas where you could consume. And so I didn't get in trouble or anything, but thankfully. But no, so a designated area where people can consume and stuff.
So let me make that full circle. When I was saying that, Jacqueline Holloway at the county came out with that letter for the sponsorship issues, Leafly.com actually came out with a national article too, and there was MJ Biz conference was mentioned about November in their conference, and it had to do with public consumption. And Cannabis Nurses Network was mentioned, saying that they're having a conference that was at risk. These two conferences and this other one in September, which I don't even know where that one went, that these three new conferences were at risk of being shut down. So when we came back from that, I'm like, what do you mean this is going to be shut down? I said, we're an education-only non-consumption. We're a professional nursing organization. We are legit. These are CEUs. What are they trying to do here? I said, okay. That's when we decided to go and talk to all the municipalities and get them all ducks in a row. And we really did our due diligence and educated, and we really wanted to help the establishment licensing holders. I commend you. You guys have put millions and millions of dollars out there. And you still aren't recouping those monies, and you're sucked up to this, the cash cow that they're sucking money out of you. So we really wanted to bring an awareness with public consumption, and that's one of our mission statements in this too, is why we're holding it at City Hall.
Empowering through education, opportunity, recognition, and
that's right.
Advocacy.
Our mission of Cannabis Nurses Network. Yes.
Nice.
So it's gonna be so much fun. So
you'll definitely find me at that sports panel for sure. I gotta hit the party up. Later that night, the awards. I want to see the awards, and kind of like you said, the paparazzis are gonna be there. I gotta
step and repeat. And the nurses all dressed up, and it's gonna be so much fun. My favorite part is really honoring the nurses, especially the ones that have been on the covers of Cannabis Nurses magazine. These are leaders of nursing. There is no road. We're pioneering into a new frontier. In fact, I kind of like was walking out there ahead of everybody, and I looked to my side back in like 2014 going, what are the nurses are doing what I'm thinking, you know? And that's where I found Nurse Heather and Nurse Marcy and Nurse Lisa and Jenny and all these other nurses on top of it. It's just incredible.
There is. There's a whole team out there of people like you that are thinking the same thing.
It's exciting. So we're providing a safe haven for nurses to be able to come and be recognized and have opportunity. There's so many new businesses that are spreading out and really reinventing the wheel of how healthcare system is working. It's failing. We all know that. Obamacare, I mean, they have open enrollment coming up in November to December 15th. Hurry, get on there. It's like, why do you want to hurry to the death care system? I call it the Death Star. I mean, it's it's more bureaucracy of, you know, it's for my even care. It took me 9 months from the time I needed and talked to my doctor saying I need a new MRI, something's not right. It took me 9 months to finally get all my MRIs and my insurance to improve everything to finally get those exams. There's a problem with our healthcare system. And if I as a nurse cannot even navigate through our own system, how do our patients who are sick and dying even get through it? So
now, one of the good things about you guys had to change your location for the conference. One of the things that just came to mind, when you changed your location, right? In that process of changing it, you made a connection and educated people with the police department when you connected with those people.
Right, so check how
the people at the city hall.
Yep.
You spread some information and awareness to them. So you spread more, you know, connect. It almost makes it stronger by making these connections.
We now have this industry, but there's so many people out there in our community that really don't understand what it's all about. They just think, oh, the money, and yeah, they are making money hand over fist, but those taxes are supposed to be bringing it to our school system. And that's another thing. Right now, they threw all the taxes into the general fund, slush fund, they call it.
General fund.
And it's supposed to go to our schools. So we have some issues, big issues. And I have a lot of people asking Nurse Juhlzie, what's going on with our taxes? Our schools need it. So we have some serious issues, Governor Sandoval, that we need to work on. But with that, we are bringing awareness to people. That's the most important thing. So take a look at it, Cannabis Nurses Network Conference 2017. That is where it's going to be.
And one more thing, we got this gift for you here.
Ooh,
it's a magazine. It's actually...
Oh my gosh, did you find it? Oh gosh, I haven't seen this yet. Yeah. All right, so our listeners out there, this is the UNLV Spring 2017 magazine. UNLV, my alumni. It's the Exports Spectacle, okay? And
the esports.
The esports?
Yeah, that's one of the articles.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the articles. So here's the article you're in. Here's the article you're in.
So, a growth career, page 32. Alumni in Nevada's marijuana industry tackle the challenges of the emerging market. I don't even know where they found me. I had the guy call me up. Oh, wow, this is beautiful, you guys. So, highs and lows of the new market. So UNLV had pulled a couple of us alumni, and a lot of people didn't even know that I was an alumni for UNLV. It's in my bio all the time. So, but they had asked me to come talk, and now my degree was in kinesiology. I was going in for my physician's assistant in my master's. I was at Midwestern University back in 2000, and I had gotten very, very sick back then. And this is before cannabis was ever in my life, so I never got to finish that facet. I got to the first year of it, but my body said, nope, you're shutting down. So I had to take, some couple years off and get my health back together, come back to Nevada, and I came back. I was bored, so I just picked up my nursing degree and came back to Nevada to be able to practice in pediatrics. So this article, we've got direct, look at Ben from Oasis. You guys were talking about Oasis earlier in the show.
Yeah, Ben, there goes Ben.
And then Nurse Montero, wow. You did an excellent photo on that. So I have this Jennifer Murray.
So who took the photo, UNLV or you?
UNLV, I came into the studio and they did a whole video. In fact, I didn't even really know what I was walking into. I do a lot of different radio interviews that say, hey, can you come speak here, do that? I'm like, okay, am I on video or not?
Yeah.
If I'm not on video, I look like I am today. I'm on the Color Run shirt, you know.
Color Run. I like that. She wore the running shirt.
This.
Okay, yeah.
That's the running
Color
levels.
Run.
This is as close as my little Color Runs. I walk it now. But my back says no running anymore.
Okay. We got walkers on the 420 cross country team.
But anyways, yeah, they had me come in, and I walk in, and there's this huge big studio at UNLV, and the photographer, and I got to talk, and it was just a great opportunity. Yeah, the necklaces are just absolutely beautiful. The one that Duval's pointing to right now, it's a round, like a size a little bit bigger than a dime, I'd say, and it has a
coin, a dime coin. Not a dime bag, a dime coin.
Yeah, a coin. And it's on page 35 of the spring 2017 issue, the picture that we're talking about. And it has, this is a white gold with a little white diamond in it. It has a cannabis sativa leaf hollowed out. And this is by Jennifer Murray. She does all the different jewelry, but this is one I had her design. She only did gold, and I'm like, I'm a white gold kind of girl. So,
gold.
She made this one special. Nice. But this piece has started so much conversation in my regular life, in the grocery store, wherever I'm pumping gas. I mean, I tell you, wherever I am, and just people are like, I love your necklace. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And it'll start the conversation. I said, do you consume cannabis? I just, open about it. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, and they'll tell me their life story just in like a quick 5 minutes of how it helped save their mother or their father or their child or this or that, or even themselves, and how their whole family consumes CBDs before they work out and all sorts of things. So when you wear things on your body, whether it be a ball cap like you, Duval, or a t-shirt like you have on, all these things start conversation, and that is what we want. Right. Do not be afraid to talk about cannabis. Cannabis is the cure, and we need to share that knowledge with everyone. So my tattoo on my left forearm, my necklace for my Jennifer Murray necklace, these things are important, and they're symbolisms of freedom, and it's freedom of health. Because we are responsible for our own bodies and what we consume in our bodies. The healthcare system can try and tell us what we should take, but we do have a right to say what we do and do not want in our bodies.
Listen to your body.
Right?
Yes, indeed. So yeah, we wanted to get you a copy of this.
This is just beautiful.
Yeah, we wanted to get you a copy of this. And I've got a copy that I'll be needing you to autograph here a little bit later.
Gosh, I would love to. Oh yes, and so a lot of we have our contributors in our magazine. All these nurses will be there, so we'll have our Sharpies. You can come and sign the magazines when you come to these events. If you do want tickets, if you are a nursing student of any kind, anywhere in the country or in the state, bring proof, and you will get in free. We believe in giving back to the community, and that's one of our. It's going to be a first come, first serve. I could just see 500 people. We can only hold so many in the Greenspan Hall, but
there'll be a side seminar with.
Well, we could even have it play out in the lobby if we need to. I'm sure we'll make things happen, but it's really important to give back to the communities, and then that Saturday afternoon after the tour, the nurses are going to go feed the homeless at the Salvation Army.
Right on.
So with Boo and crew. So Boo Williams, he does the Blueberry Cares tours, and we're going to be, the cannabis nurses are going to be going to feed and eat with the homeless on Saturday to end our conference weekend.
Nice.
Wow, well, that's a beautiful way to wrap up the conference with some ways giving back to the community and doing some community service and stuff like that. I commend everything that you do.
Oh, thank you.
We're so glad to have you here in the community doing all the work that you do. I see how I feel a similar way when I'm trying to do my cannabis research on the campus with academics and stuff, and they're like, he just wants to smoke. Independent study. He just wants to smoke.
Until we get a dependent study on the endocannabinoid system, we're going to independently choose what we want to learn.
Exactly. So I feel that plight and that struggle of how you're kind of convince people about the professional and academic side of it, and also we're really glad to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you.
We're glad you decided to come
You
on.
guys need,
We know you're really busy this week because of the conference and everything.
we do, but I wanted to come and it was very important. You guys do a wonderful job of getting correct information. There's nothing worse and more frustrating to me when misinformation gets sent out to the people.
Yeah.
And it happens. It's just a matter of can we correct it to make sure. So we want to make sure we have valid evidence-based education. I know you guys, you do your due diligence. You have your notes right here. They have these outlines. I'm just totally amazed with their little whiteboard in their office over here, and this huge studio is just beautiful. I love it. You guys are doing an amazing job.
Our fabulous Las Vegas studio.
Again, Cannabis Nurses Network, CNNC2017.com. Get your tickets.
Yep.
All right,
Please
guys.
register for Friday night.
I'll see you there. And remember, purple, lavender, something
Oh, look
royal.
I even got my little toes done. See?
Purple.
Everybody else.
There you go.
Yeah. Purple, royal, lavender.
They call me Very Vegas, Nurse Juhlzie.
Very Vegas.
When I go to other places other than Vegas, that's another little known. That was Alice O'Leary Randall, who's the top dog nurse. And if you know, Randall was the first one to get the tin of joints from the government. He was the first patient.
Salute to Randall.
Right. So Alice O'Leary Randall at the Patients Out of Time conference in 2015, she called me Very Vegas Nurse Juhlzie because I had my bling nails on.
Bling bling.
Yeah, it's fun. We're gonna have fun, guys. I look forward to seeing you guys there.
I'll be there. Come there. Come check me out. Give me a shout out. We'll take a picture together with the step and repeat, and I'll introduce you to Nurse Juhlzie. I'll personally introduce you to
Please
Nurse
do.
Juhlzie.
Yes, I would love that.
You'll go live, guys.
All right, guys, and we'll be back in a little bit.
Onward to Netflix. All right. That's awesome.
The interview ended at approximately 8:45 p.m. During the hour-long segment of the show, veteran cannabis activist Christina Alfonso Diaz arrives to the studio with a friend to pick up VIP passes to the Cannabis Nurses Network conference. All 6 people in the studio were introduced to each other and socialized for about 30 minutes. At approximately 9:15, everyone left the studio as the guests went on their way and the hosts went to get something to eat. The hosts returned to the studio at approximately 9:45 p.m. While eating their dinner and preparing notes for the 420 Cross Country and Run to Improve updates, they learned about the tragic event taking place in real time. The Puff and Run podcast went radio silent and has remained off air at this point, October 4th, 2017.